Hey guys, and welcome to today's first impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a recently released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at the prologue of Mythbusters, which is due to come out on the 8th of June. The prologue released earlier this week, and I'm very happy to report that it's pretty damn good. However, this being a prologue, it does mean that the things are subject to change, and there are a few things that I would like to see changed, improved, tidied up, etc. As always, we'll look through the options first, and I'll take you into the gameplay and the different aspects of the game that you have to do to complete the episodes and stuff, and give you my first impressions of what I like and what I don't. So let's not waste any more time, let's jump straight into it. Okay, so we're in the options. First off, I'm going to have a little bit of a moan. I do think that the game needs some better optimizing. I've noticed that there's been a few lag spikes when I've been walking around and stuff, and there aren't really that many graphic options available just yet. Again, this is just the prologue, and upon full release, here's hoping that they do improve that optimization somewhat. What you do get is you get VSync, you get your screen resolution, whether you want full screen or not. Your FOV, which is actually started at 60, which is fairly low. Motion blur, and I'm happy to report that it is off by default. Your AA quality, details, textures, and shadows. That's literally all you get, and it only goes up to very high. Also, it uses this horrible side scrolling, which goes all the way back to low. So if you are trying to find the highest quality and you can't see it, you are going to cycle through your options quite a bit, which means kind of annoying. Your audio, it does start you at full 100% volume when you start the game. You've got your main volume, your radio volume, and then your sound muted. There is no voice acting in this game that I have seen yet, and I don't know whether on full release they will have that added in the game or not. Of course, it would be kind of cool to see. Gameplay options, you've got language and units. It would be nice if they had a colorblind mode. There's a lot of things like zone radius and stuff that uses colors to sort of differentiate between those, and for people like myself that do suffer with color blindness, it would be nice to see that option added in. And then your controls, honestly, you're just going to be using your WASD, X, C, Q, and E. But it does come up with tooltips to show you what it is that you're supposed to be pressing the entire way through, which is nice, but you can rebind your keys if you so desire. I don't know whether this has controller support. I haven't seen anything for controller support, and I don't know how well it would work with a controller, but that is something worth noting as well. Right, let's look into the gameplay and see what it is we have to do, shall we? Alright, we are in the game. Now, this is a very interesting concept for a game because it's lots of mini games within a game. Now, the cool thing is, obviously, we are in the Mythbusters studio right now. You've got everything from the chill out area and the laptop where you do all your editing, the Mythbusters board where you select your next, myth to do it. You've got your blueprint table here. You've got all of your inventory, which is kind of weird because you have to buy it even though it's already here in your inventory. You've got your assembly table, and there's tons of different mini games with each area of the workshop, which is really, really cool. So the best way that I'm going to do this video is I'm going to first of all take you to the Mythbusters board here, and then from there I'm just going to cut into each of the mini games to show you how they work. The reason why I'm going to do that is because it will save a lot of time of me walking between each bit to get to it, because it takes quite a bit of time. So the first thing you do is you go to your Mythbusters board here, and as you can see, it will come up with the balloon chair, and it will be a myth. Now, to my knowledge, these are myths that they've actually done on the series, but I could be wrong. If you want to let me know in the comments down below, but I seem to remember them doing the balloon chair. You then have to choose a teammate, and if you use these in the show, it will take up time here, but I will explain more about that feature and the system and the mechanic of it when we get to the point of actually testing the video and putting it all together, because I've got a few quips with it. I'm not overly happy with the way it is right now. But you accept the job once you've chosen the person you want to work with. As you can see, they've got a bonus and a disadvantage, or two bonuses or two disadvantages from taking them. and they have a little bit of a blurb between who they are and what it is they do. So we're going to take George, and then we accept. And then you basically have to go through, and it will tell you in the top right-hand corner, look underneath the myth board. It will tell you what it is you have to do next. So we're going to go to the blueprints, and we'll see what the mini game is there. Alright, so the first thing you have to do is you have to do the blueprint. And this comes with a number of different mini games and puzzles within the actual main game itself, obviously. And you have to basically solve them all to get these question marks completed so you can move on. And honestly, they're fun, but they could do with a little bit more hand-holding for those of us that aren't that smart. It also feels like some of the tips and stuff that it comes up with aren't actually there yet. When I first did one of these fill ones, it didn't have an apply or a test. It was just accept and fail or do it the first time. But the idea is you basically fill it up to about 56% plus or minus 5. So you want to be around the 56% mark. And on the tutorial, it told me that there would be an apply button so I could apply it and see roughly how much it is. That's not the case. You've just got to accept. And if you fail, you've got to do it again. But I think that's about 56%-ish. There you go. And then you move on to the next one, right? And it adds more pages to the notebook. The more pages on the notebook you've got, the more thoroughly you can do the experiment, the more complete the show will be, the more ratings you'll gain as a result. And it's pretty fun. It doesn't take that much time, and it tests your knowledge, and it puts you to the test. And like I say, it's pretty fun as a mini game. So I'm going to finish this off real quick, and then we'll jump on to the next section of the Mythbusters process, which will be getting the inventory together and stuff like that. Alright then, we are at the next stage. Now I've already purchased a number of items already off of the list, and we've just got one left to go. As you can see in the top right hand side, it tells you what things you need to get and how many of them that you actually need to make. And you basically go along wherever the blue dot is, and this is a perfect time for me to say about the navigation in the game. The navigation in the game is a little bit iffy at best. If you are on a different level, i.e. if you have to go upstairs for something, then it just kind of creates this arrow pointing upwards on the top of the screen, and there is no mini-map to speak of. It can make it a bit difficult to find where it is you need to go, and the navigation isn't that reliable as a result. But you basically go up to the item that you need to buy, and then you can buy as many or as few as you need. So obviously we need 9 of these, so that's exactly what we're going to get. And you can see how much money and stuff you've got in the top right hand corner here. You've got 16 cards to play from, your budget's 7,000, and your popularity is set at 1,000 at base. So we're going to buy these, and then that will allow us to move on to the next item. Alright, we are at the next stage. This is the building stage, if you like. This is where you put or start putting things together to be able to make the episode a thing. So we've already started here. As you can see, we've got our water on here. We've got our large water bottle here. This is the pumping station. Now, depending on what experiment you're doing, you're going to be using different areas for this stage of the episode. You've got your crafting bench here, and you've got your big crafting bench over there, and then you go from there. So it will tell you what you need to do in the top right hand corner, and you will literally go through and do that. So as you can see, we need to now put gelatin into the bucket. So we'll fill it with the gelatin. Now you can see all the options here of what you can put into this station, but the one that you need will be highlighted as so. So we're going to get the pork gelatin, and it will come up, and if it's the first time you've done something, it will come up with tips on telling you how to do it. So we're going to then move to the next page, and it will tell you to ballistic gel. So we're going to switch it on here like this. Portion of helium, ballistic gel, water 89%. Ooh, I think I've broke this. Nothing connected to this valve. I've broken it already. Cool. Oh, I've done it wrong. Right, use the appropriate, right, so we need, we're making ballistic gels, so we need 10 to 20%. The bottle broke. So, as you can see, this is why you need a number of large bowls, because I'm a moron and keep breaking it. So we want 10 to 20% here, and then the rest of it water, yes? There you go. And we have to go around here. So as you can see, we have a lot of things to do, but this indicates a very interesting part of the game, because it doesn't really make it clear whether you've done it or not. It just tells you to take the bottle filled with ballistic gel and do stuff, but we broke the bottle, so I'm assuming we just have to keep trying. It doesn't make it very clear. Like, it tells you what to do, but the whole point of this game is to let you think and discover for yourself. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go until we get to the next assembly point, and I'm going to try and figure out what I'm doing wrong and if I can fix it, and then we'll move from there. Alright, the next stage for this experiment at least is we are using the polypropylene granules to make a mold, right? So we're going to take that here. We want the plastic hand, so we're going to switch it, and this one's fairly easy. It just uses the thing and makes the mold straight away, but it's very cool that you've got all these different molds around here. This is fairly simple and straightforward, and then we take it and it'll ask you to check the notebook again, and we'll see what the next process is. Okay, so this is interesting. The next thing it wants me to do is get more parts to make more things, right? But this time around, it doesn't tell you what it is you need to go for. Now, I don't know if this is because it's broken or because it's by design, but there's a lot of pieces here and I have no idea where I'm looking. And this is a problem because you can see there's a lot of things to look for. So it's going to make the process a lot worse, right? I need to get pork gelatin, I need to get water, I need to get some steel rods, which I'm assuming are here. And I think it was 15 of them. So I don't know whether, like I say, this is, you know, by design, but I feel like it should really be still pointing me towards where I am. Maybe after the third or fourth, or if there is an option that you can turn off navigation for things like this, I don't know. But to just not give me any navigation and a list of parts to get this early in the game, when there are so many things to go through, it's not ideal. It's not great. But I just thought I would point that out because as somebody who is playing the game for the first time, I feel like it definitely needs to be noted and documented. So yeah, I will finish buying all the pieces and then we'll use the workshop machines and I'll show you how those work. Okay, we've got all the bits that we need for the next part, and now we have to use the saw. Now what's cool about this is that you have to assemble and disassemble the saw each time you use it, considering what it is you're about to use. Now we are using steel and we have a wood saw in it at the minute, so what we need to do is we need to dismantle and remove the old saw blade in order to put the new one on. And again, if you've used or played games like Car Mechanic Sim, Bike Mechanic Sim, these are all going to be fairly familiar mechanics with the way that you remove things in this manner. I like it. I like the fact that you have to maintain and use each item as you go through. I think it's really quite cool and a really good way of doing things. Then what you'll do is there'll be another mini game as you go through that will allow you to cut in the right place. If you cut them in the wrong place, then what will happen is you will just get bad bits and you're less likely to get a good result from your findings. So we're going to just screw this in real quick. What is annoying with the placing of the screw and stuff in is you have to click it once and then hold to insert. Whereas with other games, like I said, where we've had this mechanic before, you don't have to do that. It's a lot more seamless. So once we've done that, we're going to exit this and then we're going to use the saw. We want the steel pipes, but we want the little ones. We want these ones. We want the steel rods. As you can see, there is a green bar here, and the way that it works is you hold the mouse button in order to get it, and you try and cut it within the right area. As you can tell, I'm not very good at this and keep getting it the wrong size. But it's a cool little mini game, and again, like I say, having to sort out and cut through and do everything that you need to, it's kind of cool. I'm a big fan. I'm not very good at it, but I like the fact that each process has its own mini game in order for you to do what you need to do. Then we have to go through and craft the rest of the things. We're going to pick all these up now, which again is quite finicky. And then we have to use the workshop machines to get Buster's head, ballistics gel, etc, etc. Now, again, the problem here is it seems to have switched the navigation off. So I don't know what part I'm supposed to go to. I know that I need to make more ballistics gel. I need 22 ballistics gel, and I currently have 2. So we're probably going to need some more water bottles and stuff like that. So we'll use those, we'll get all the items together, and then we'll go to the next stage. Alright, we have got all the materials needed. I've crafted them all, and now we get to put it all together. This is the sort of penultimate time before we actually conduct the experiment. So we're going to hit craft, and we're going to make Buster. And then again, same sort of deal. You've just got to put the steel mods where you need so you can construct him as needed. I'll put all these bits down here. And you basically, again, make the dummy as you see fit. And it's pretty fun. Like, the fact that there is so much to this game, and yet it's completely different each time, right? You're going to need different items for different things. You're going to need different materials. So far, the only problem I've got with it is the navigation could probably do with being a little bit better, a little bit easier. It kind of, the game forgets that there is a lot going on. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot to sort of work with and make out, you know? But outside of that, I'm very, very impressed with how the game works. And it's not too complicated, but at the same time, the puzzles can give you a bit of a run for your money. And if you don't know what you're doing, or if you might have missed something that you should have maybe done, it can be a bit of a problem. Now, I think I'm assembling him right here, because it told us that it wanted a plastic piece as well, but I could be wrong. I think I might have done this wrong. I think I might need to put a plastic bit on it. But we'll see. We'll put them together and see what happens, see if they're happy with it or not. I would say that the bolts as well definitely are a little bit on the finicky side, and it doesn't really let you know when you're all the way in, right? It doesn't let you know that you're quite there or you're not quite there. It doesn't give you any feedback, and you can be sat here tapping away trying to get it to go in, and it's already all the way in, or you might think it's all the way in and it isn't. So it is worth bearing that in mind as we go through. But yeah, right, I'm gonna finish this up. and then we'll go to the testing stage. We should be at the testing stage after this, where we set up the experiment to go. All right, then we are at the testing area for this experiment. So we're going to take our mannequin out of the truck and we're going to take it to where it tells us to, and then we're going to basically set up the experiment. This is what all of this preparation time and stuff has got us to. Now, what's annoying is that you kind of just throw it there, and if you get it in the wrong place, then the cleanup team come to take it away, and if that happens, then generally speaking, you're not going to be in for a good time. Then all you got to do is basically you build it up as you go. I'm going to make that one. We're going to add another one there. We're not. So interestingly enough, it wants me to add another ballast, but I don't have another ballast because the game didn't tell me to make 2, it just told me to make 1. And that's really weird. And this is a theme that I'm seeing. Like it sort of tells you to do stuff without telling you to do stuff. It's really weird and very strange that it would sort of not really allow you to, or not give you the correct sort of instruction. However, as you can see, the the experiment is already off to a good start. Okay, so we've got all that down. Prepare the starting position. So you could essentially go off on many different tangents with this, and you could add more balloons if you wanted to add more balloons, and you could add more ballast if you wanted to add more ballast, but all you need for the actual experiment is what it tells you. So that's where you're basically going to figure out if you want to go for more or less of a reaction. Wrong tool in use. Have I got it in here? I've got it in here. I haven't put it in my thing. There you go. So we're going to add it to the hop tool, and then we're going to put it down, and then start the experiment. And this will again start another mini game. So some of them will add more mini games. Others are just a straight up like big bang explosion, job done. You go back, you record the episode. So we're going to unhook, and we're going to see how far we can take it going on. Fly through the circle in the sky and get the... But I don't... See, it doesn't really give you a lot of information, unfortunately. We're going to land on the island nearby, so we're going to try that. Overall, I really do like this game so far. I love how in-depth it is. The graphics, like I say, aren't too bad. It could do with some more... what's it called? Some optimization, maybe. There have been a few lag spikes. We're going to start our descent and see how far we get. I think I might have been too many too quickly. I died. Cool. Right. I'm now going to take you to the editing process because I do have some issues with that. And then that will be the video complete, guys. All right, this has been a very long video. Thank you so much for watching and staying with me. We're going to cut to the editing scene now. All right, then. So this is the final thing that you will do for an episode. Interestingly enough, I think that the last experiment was bugged because it kept making me do it again, even though I'd already finished the experiment, which was really weird. I don't know if it was because I didn't get into the zone or what. It just kept telling me to end the experiment and then wouldn't finish, so I just came back anyway. Now, as you can see, each of these cards have got a number in the top left hand corner, and that kind of shows you how long the episode is going to take. You can't go over 60 minutes, and that is a bit of a problem. And the other thing that happens is you sort of keep your cards from the last episode, right? They don't go away. which is fine for some, but then you've got things that aren't going to pertain to the episode you're currently doing. So they're kind of useless, right? The tools up and the Flash of Genius cards, they're really useful to have a lot of. And we finally got one that is a 5-minute timer, because the problem is these celebrity ones are 20-minute slots each. And like a lot of the things that you're going to want are 15. So it just makes you run over all the time. So you've either got the option of not having these celebrity guests, which the whole point is having them because they help your ratings and stuff, or having them and not being able to complete the round. But now we are starting to get these 5-minute time slots in as well. So we're gonna go through. We're gonna make an episode real quick with all of these. Actually, we'll put that there, and then we'll have Flash of Genius. We'll have all of those, and we'll have that in there. And that makes an episode, right? But as you can see, it's all over the place. So we'll just have to run with it and see what happens. Then you record the episode, and you're done. And that's the game sorted. And then you see the progress. You can see all the things you've got here, and you can see your Mailbuster if you get anything out. Now, the one thing that I would like to see is, like, the episode once it's finished, being able to watch that episode back or see your ratings and stuff as they go through. But you can't actually do that on this version as yet. But as you can see, the episode's gone out. We're starting to get some popularity in. So it is having an effect. It's just I wish I could sort of see that effect. But there you are. That is Mythbusters, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it was a bit longer than normal, but there was a lot to cover with so much to go through in the game. Let me know in those comments down below what you think, and let me know if you'll be trying it out. Thank you very much. I hope to see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.